Let's try that again with the proper buttons hit. All right, greetings and salutations to everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton. Hey, want to thank you all for joining us here. Game Day Lions Talk Live Morning Show edition. And I was not able to get to this last night, yesterday evening, just because the wife and I, we had some things going on. We were going out to a costume party. So anyways, figured I'd save it for the morning show. But here's what we've got. We do have confirmation of a few different trades that apparently Brad Holmes is actually trying to make. This is going to come from multiple different reporters and reports. I do want to give some thanks out to also Hutch Jr. for getting me some of this information. He's on it, as you guys all know, ultimately 95% of the times out of 100. So whatever I'm trying to say. Anyways, we're going to get to these reports here. One of them is from, let's see, we've got a host of different outlets. He's got it over to me, per Dana Rossini of The Athletic. And let me see if I can get this on the screen. Well, I'll get to it later. The Lions are in a bit of a bidding war between the 49ers, the Rams, the Colts, and the Eagles for a few different players. A couple of those players listed within the report from The Athletic are Logan Wilson. Hey, could the Lions try to add him? Sure. Cornerback Cam Taylor-Britt. Hey, we all know him, and he would make some sense from a physicality standpoint, how the Lions want to make some moves. The other one, and I know a few different other YouTube channels have gotten on this one because it has kind of come out, leaked out, that Trey Hendrickson actually has been in conversations, or at least the Bengals, with the Lions about it. We've got a list. I tried to dive in yesterday before we took off, and then also this morning. I forgot about the time change, so I've been up for a while working on this episode or story for you guys. But long story short, it does seem like Brad Holmes has had conversations, from best I can tell, talking to different reporters, talking to different people, paying attention to stuff in the national media, to about 8 different teams about trades. Today's episode, we're not going to do 5 headlines now. We're not going to have a main topic today. We're just going to get into the story right off the bat, as we're doing right now. We're going to also pay attention to the scoreboard watch, because as you guys know, after today, you have 2 days until the trade deadline is here. We could start off by saying this. The Ravens did everybody in the NFL a solid by probably putting the Dolphins to rest for the rest of the season. You guys already know they're going to start firing some people. They're already firing people. And yes, it does appear, per their own lips, they're looking to unload a few players. The question becomes, with any trade scenario, whether team A talks to team B, C, D, or whoever else, it comes down to pricing. It comes down to who's going to make the best offer. And if you have a bidding war, if you take the Athletic at their word, then you know what? It's going to be whoever bids the most. A couple years ago, I know I went on air when I talked to some friends over in Detroit-based media, and I want to say, don't hold me to it, we were one of the first outlets to report the Lions were having some legitimate conversations with the Washington Commanders, about Montez Sweat. And yes, I was told back then, and this is a couple years back, the Lions were offering a 3rd round pick and some other stuff for Sweat. Didn't pan out. Why? As you guys, and we all know now, the Chicago Bears offered a 2nd round pick, beat us out. So here's what we can say about any trade rumor. You can have 2 teams talk, but if somebody else is going to offer more, it's no different than anything else in life. You're going to take whatever's best for your organization. Let's dive into this. Let's not waste a lot of time with it. Nick, and I'm going to kill some of these names, so apologies. Lions have talked to the Washington Commanders about 2 different players. And to me, this is one of the more logical ones out there, although I don't foresee the Washington Commanders selling. That being as it is, though, let's see, we've got Nick Arlasardi, offensive lineman, and Andrew Wiley. Makes sense to me. We have all talked. Wiley, as you guys know, can play tackle and guard. He's got a ton of experience. He's a former Super Bowl winner, a valuable player, while Argiletti signed last year is a guard only, really. Could it be that if the Lions, did make a trade for one of them, to me, it doesn't have to be your opinion, but it is my opinion at least, Wiley makes more sense. The Duke crew, I get a lot of you guys have been talking for some time. Lions need to add some offensive line depth. Taylor Decker is going to go today from all reports. We'll have to see how he does. But the reality of the situation is the Lions, perhaps their weakest spot on the entire team is backup left tackle. if something really isn't right with Taylor Decker, this is, in my opinion, only why he makes the most sense of all of these trades we're going to talk about. What would it cost to get him? Man, I don't know. Leave that to your own prerogatives. This report did come out of Baltimore, although I would say if it was my opinion, there's a 0% chance this guy's getting traded, and definitely not the Detroit Lions, but it is out there. I was going to throw it out there. The only reason why I'm even mentioning this is when you do get confirmations of teams talking, sometimes that's all it is just chatter. Doesn't mean there's any real validity to somebody being traded. But Mark Andrews' name from the Baltimore Ravens has popped up. It has not been associated with the Detroit Lions as best I can find, but I'm pointing out that teams do talk about all sorts of different players, whether or not somebody's willing to overpay to acquire somebody, wait and see. Getting back to the Detroit Lions, though, we talked about this possible trade, I want to say about a month ago, but it does sound like, from multiple different reports, I like to always reference the Cleveland Plain Dealer when it comes to Cleveland stuff, but Joel Bittner, the offensive tackle / guard for him, he's played an outstanding career. Does sound like Cleveland is willing to part ways with him. One of the biggest issues is that the Browns would be saddled roughly a $10 million dead cap due if he was to be parted ways. And there are reports about other Cleveland Browns being up for grabs, not just for the Detroit Lions, but teams across the league. Wyatt Teller is another one of note who's popped up. Bittner is 34 years old. He's been a Pro Bowler. Again, offensive line depth for the Detroit Lions would make a lot of sense. So are they going to look to add him? I don't know. Larry, there you go. If you want to see a picture of him, I forgot that I actually programmed some of the pictures in today, but it does make sense to me if the Lions want to go for either one of those guys. There are multiple reports that the Lions are trying to do that. The Lions are one of a billion teams trying to go for these next two guys, and it is the Miami Dolphins. I know a ton of you guys have interest in Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips. I understand why. You get more speed, athleticism on the defensive line. You get after the quarterback more. Like we've also talked about sometimes, I'm not so sure that's a priority for MCDC, though. Like we're going to be talking about today with the Minnesota Vikings, the Lions want to stop the run first, stop mobile quarterbacks, and then get to the quarterback. There's a reason why they lead or near the top of the NFL in sacks. There's also a reason why they're near the top of the NFL in most time per sack. So what does that mean? The moment the ball snapped until you get the sack, Lions do not get there in a hurry, and they typically get there in about 2.5 seconds. But part of that is because on first and second down, just from a schematic standpoint, like we've already talked about, they want to stop the running back first, stop mobile quarterback, etc. The Commanders trade, if probably my opinion, where I'm bringing up the Commanders, I think either one of these guys get traded out of Miami. It's probably going to be similar to what the Montez Sweat deal was a couple years ago, and maybe even the Chase Young trade later that same year, although not quite as much capital was involved in that. If you wanted to go after them guys. So anyways, out of the Phillips and Chubbs, who would you want more? Duke Crew, let me know your thoughts. My opinion doesn't have to be your opinion. I'd want Phillips more. I just like his bend, his versatility a little bit more. And not that Chubbs isn't bad. Both guys have an injury history, so they sound like Brad Holmes pickups. If you probably agree with that or not, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Moving on down the list, though. This one I would sort of say is like a 0% chance, but I'm going to address it just because I know a bunch of you guys have messaged me about it. There is chatter about Las Vegas trading Max Crosby. I have not heard anything about it this year about him coming to the Lions. Although you guys get it, last year he was one of the bigger topics out of there. Last year, I would also say it made more sense for the Lions to get him than it does now because of his contract. Unless Las Vegas is going to eat the majority of that contract, will it pay it for whoever's going to acquire him? There are reports coming out that, hey, the Raiders have come in and said, hey, we're not going to trade you and everything. Try to, calm him down. He wants to stay a Raider. Sounds like the Raiders want to keep him. Here's what I'd also say to all of you guys, though. Teams often say that to a player, and then 15 seconds later, that player is traded at the right appropriate cost. Do I think the Lions are legitimately going after Max Crosby? No, I do not. I have not really seen anything nor heard anything from anybody I talked to that even leads me to believe it's really been more than a passive conversation at best. Now, if you talk about Chubbs and Phillips with Miami, That does seem to have more weight and validity. In my opinion, on the ones we've talked about so far, it would be more the offensive linemen that the Lions have made some legitimate calls about. But let's keep going down the list here. This one popped up. I didn't have time to program it into a photo of it into the show, so apologies for that. But this one makes a lot of sense, and I'm sure it will make a lot of sense to you guys. We've talked ad nauseum for about a month now about the Lions and Saints having multiple conversations for Cam Jordan, Grant Anderson, a bunch of other ones. Another name is popped up yesterday, and again, I didn't have time to do a show for it yesterday, but this would be Davis, linebacker / edge for them, Demario Davis, excuse me. He's 36 years old. He is older, sort of like Cam Jordan. I could totally see where Brad Holmes could try to acquire one, if not both of them, at an appropriate price. And I don't think it would cost much to get both of them. Think about how much deeper that offensive line, the rotation would be. And I know Pierce probably won't be sad when I say this. If I'm the Lions and I'm able to acquire Davis, you don't want to say his base salary is only like $6 million, something like that. That sounds about right. He's spent the last 8 years with the Saints. If you can get him and or Cam Jordan, you know what? You're probably moving on from Marcus Davenport, just wishing him well. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But in regards to Davis, even though he is up there in age, he's still a real good blitzer. And we get on certain downs, the Lions like to use Derek Barnes as a big end, send Jack Campbell. We were talking about that yesterday. His win rate, Jack Campbell and Anzalone's, are amongst the best in the NFL for linebackers. Maybe not top 1 or 2, but they're on the top 10 list. All right, this one is probably picking up a little bit of steam with some growing concerns, I guess we could say, with Kirby Joseph in the secondary for the Detroit Lions. It's Houston Texans, Christian Harris. Could they look to add him? Sure. Would you use him in a ton of different ways? Absolutely. But the bottom line is the Houston season isn't going the way they anticipated. They are looking to still make a push, but this would seem like more like a player swap, in my opinion, if reports are accurate about Harris being traded out of there. I don't think they're going to be looking for draft picks as much as they are players to try to help their season, help revitalize their season. The other part is Harris has kind of dropped off in the snap count, dropped down on the depth chart a little bit. What are your thoughts about these guys? Another one that's popped up on the list, and yes, the list for the Lions is growing larger and larger, but again, you got 2 days until the trade deadline. This is going to happen. Breece Hall, New York Jets. I just don't see this one happening. Maybe some of you guys do, but Hall's contract status is uncertain as far as his contract year. The former second-round pick has established himself as the team's clear-cut starter. Why would the Jets get rid of him? Well, it'd be simple. You're not going to re-sign him. I know there have been some speculations, too, that the Lions could potentially be trading David Montgomery. That has popped up in the last, I feel like, day or two. I don't personally see it happening. I think MCDC and this team loves David Montgomery. Then again, it is a business. Let's not forget that part. It just doesn't seem like a Detroit Lions way of doing things, at least with this regime, where you'd get rid of Montgomery and add Breece Hall. But there has been some speculations about it. Next one on this list, and I know half of you are going to yell, this is clickbait. Half of you are going to yell, man, this is the stupidest. Why are we ever talking about it? It's never going to happen. And then there's the rest of the story. Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengals. It does come down to this. There are tons of reports out there that the Bengals are shopping him behind closed doors. They don't think they can re-sign him. And yes, for those going to ask, it does appear from multiple different Detroit Lions beat reporters, the Lions and Bengals have had a lot of conversations over the last 2 weeks about a number of players, but one of them would include Trey Hendrickson. Trey Hendrickson, you get it, I get it, everybody gets it. If he came to Detroit, it'd be a massive win. Everybody'd be jumping up and down. Hey, pen us into the Super Bowl. I get it. I also get you'd be doing it on a one-year rental. With a 1 year, because I don't, at least in my opinion, I don't see the Lions re-signing him after this season. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's just like, I want to be good. I want to be playing here. Who knows, man? I mean, wait and see. Here's what I'll say. If the Lions did pull it off, it would be, in my opinion, a 1 year rental. But my question to the Duke crew is, what are you giving up for that 1 year rental? Could it be a couple second round picks? Sure. Could it be, it can't be third round picks because, man, you got to go to like 2028 for us to have a third round pick. Could it be fourth rounders, fifth rounders? At that point, are you the Bengals and just wishing to move on? then that is a possibility. I guess that, if they're just really that dead set on not re-signing him, as good as he is, and there goes my watch, then maybe you're just willing to take what you can get for him and let somebody else go with him. Wait and see, I guess. Next guy on the list, and there's only a couple more here I'm trying to power through, but the Lions have been tied to a bunch of these guys, and some of them legitimately, I think, are targets for the Lions. Some of them I don't. Jermaine Johnson, New York Jets. I just don't see this one happening. I don't see where he would fit in with our current rotation, so I'm going to move on from that one. Let's see. Aaron Key, we already talked about with Tennessee Titans, and Draymond Jones, both of them. Hey, Titans are having a fire sale, no different than the Miami Dolphins. Could the Lions acquire these guys? Absolutely. And I don't think either one of them would be very cost prohibitive. I just not sure if the Lions are going to make moves for 20 different guys. Cam Jordan already talked about. Alvin Kamara is not coming here. I know he's on the trade block. The Saints have kind of soft-spokenly confirmed that Alvin Kamara is on the trade block. But I just don't see Lions going after him. He's 30 years old. You got some really good running backs. If you could get him for maybe a six-pack of Mountain Dew, absolutely bring him in. He probably would automatically be a real good depth piece for this team. Some other ones on here. I'm trying to look for some other stuff here. Evan Neal, the former number 7 overall pick, just doesn't seem to be working out with the Giants. It's unlikely that you would get a ton for, or they would get a ton from, I should say, the Giants. But could you go after him? Absolutely. Could you help on the line? Probably to a certain degree, yes. So there's the ones that I think that are on this list that are probably the bigger names of note for the Lions. Some of the other ones, I'm not even going to worry about Quentin Williams of the Jets. I just don't see the Lions trading for him. There'd be no real reason to get him. Russell Wilson from the Giants has also been linked to the Detroit Lions. I would say this. I don't think from a coaching perspective, I could be totally wrong. Maybe later today, Russell Wilson's traded to the Lions, but why would you bring him in? Why would you bring all that distraction? And I just don't think he's going to sit there quietly behind Jared Goff and do much. Maybe they think he'd be an upgrade. I don't know. All right, Duke Crew, I just went through a whole lot of different names for you. Yes, I've tried to compress it to keep this show under 14 hours. So I gave you 17 minutes of names thrown out at you. I will do some other stuff right before the game today, but I won't be able to get on and do a pregame show like an hour ahead of the game. Just so you know, I'll probably be on about 15 or 20 minutes before the game because I do have some coaching responsibilities of my own today. So if you had to go with your best guess on any of these players, who do you think legitimately is an opportunity for the Lions to go out and get? I've given you my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts, though. Some of these guys, hey, they make sense to me, especially these two on the offensive line, although Joel probably makes more sense to me just because he can play multiple positions. Phillips, I would really like on the defensive line. I think he could help out a ton. Trey Hendrickson, he can stop the run. He can get after the quarterback. He can sell popcorn and nachos in the stands along with, Mountain Dew. I don't care. I don't see it happening unless you're going to agree to a 1-year rental. Chubbs, there's nobody denying his talent, his abilities. I think it just comes down to whether or not you think he's healed up enough and what's it going to cost to get him. All right, Duke Crew, let's get over to you guys. I think the Lions, if you watched yesterday's show, Lions Talk Live, we're going to win by about 50 billion points. At least that's Dan O'Damas's opinion. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. If I know some of you guys are going to the game, you're probably going to have a great time. All right, let's get to the Duke Crew. Here we go. Michael D, Gritty and Sanitation's coach, Dan, and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride. Woo! Back at you, JDC. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Look at you. Rise and shine, Duke Crew. It's game day. Oh, yeah. First time in almost 2 weeks we've been able to say that. Until I'm excited about game today. Can't sleep. Exclamation point. 50-yard line today. Man, you're going to have some great seats, and I think you're going to have a great show to watch 100%. Michael D, 38-7 Lions. Exclamation point. Go Lions. One pride. Oh, yeah. I'll take that. Attila, I am expecting nothing but hoping that we get someone substantial. I think that's probably the right way to look at the trade deadline, at least in my opinion. I don't know if Brad is going to pull the trigger. I think we all agree after 5 years, he's always making phone calls. He's always trying to find someone. He's always trying to, I don't want to say shyster, but he wants to make sure if he's going to acquire somebody, he's getting the better end of the deal, at least in his head. All those guys we listed, all those different trade scenarios, some of them, like the Max Crosby one, I don't think there's any chance that happens. I mean, who knows? It could always happen. But some of the other guys make a lot of sense. I think it just comes down to what does the selling team really need to have in order to let go of a player? Johnny L, good morning, folks. Back at you. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. Fall back and sleep in, exclamation point. Woo! Yeah, I know a lot of you did, probably. I still forgot, and I still woke up at the same time. Hookadoo, sweet. Attila, you've got 50-yard line game seats. Yes, that could not have been cheap. Lauren, man, you guys are quick. It happens, my friend. Good to see you, Lauren. Attila, I hope that I get a bobblehead today. Yeah, I heard they were giving away St. Brown bobbleheads, upside down on his head. So hopefully you get one. Henry Moore, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. Exclamation point. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! Hey, good to see you, as always, Henry. Lauren, but good morning, Coach Dan and the world-famous Duke Crew. The world-famous Duke Crew is true. We should set up viewing sessions, maybe have rotational spots across planet Earth where the Duke Crew can get together, hang out, watch a game together. That'd be something like viewing parties from different destinations. Attila, let's see, 106 row 3, best seats I have had. Hey, well, enjoy, my friend. Henry Moore, really ready for some football? Question mark. I am. I think we all are, man. We've enjoyed the little break. I'm sure the players are ready to get back after it, too. Lauren, if I had tickets, I would be on my way to Eastern Market. Yes, indeed. I know the neighbors, they either took off already or they're probably on their way there. But a lot of them do go to the games. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. I do think this is the year Brad goes for it all. If the price is right. You are right with that. I just don't see him giving him a first or second round pick for anything. Maybe I'm wrong with that, but some of the lesser round picks, I know I've talked about it a lot. I think that would shake out. Southwest greetings, salutations, Duke Crew. Woo! Game day. Yes, it is, my friend. Good to see you as always. Byron, good morning. Danny, Duke Crew. Trade to the Lions. Let's make it happen. Let's get trade to Lions. Let's see if that can happen. To your point, Byron, man, if the Lions were able to get them, and that, man, you think about DJ Reader, you think about Tyreek Williams, you think about, Ali McNeil, Aiden Hudson, Trey Hendrickson. That's a heck of a rotation. You haven't even talked about Muhammad or some of the other guys. Johnny L, don't worry. We got this today. Yes, I think this might be the easiest game left on the schedule, at least for a while. Speaking of schedule, let's also do this for you guys. Just in regards to trades, let's talk about the scoreboard. Let me see if I can bring this up on the screen. Hold on a second. Share screen. Let me NFL scores. And let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for those peeking on a cell phone or something like that. All right, there we go. Well, that probably doesn't really help. All right, let me see. Well, never mind. I'll just read through it. Otherwise, I'll waste too much time. Ravens already did everybody a solid by beating the Dolphins. Colts, Steelers today. You know what? I'm gonna root for the Steelers. How about that? Broncos, Texans, don't really care, but I guess we'll root for the Broncos just so maybe the Texans sell more. Titans, Chargers, I'm going for the Chargers just so the Titans continue to have a reason to sell. Lions, Vikings, probably don't have to say it, but Vikings should lose this game, and I'm rooting for the Lions to win. Giants, 49ers, I'm going to root for the 49ers. Panthers, Packers, hey, I don't care what's happening. I'm going to root for the Panthers today. Bears, Bengals, let's go. Even though, probably it helps from a selling standpoint for the Bengals to lose this game, but I want the Bears to lose. Falcons, Patriots, don't really care, but I guess I'll take the Patriots. Let's see, Saints, Rams, rooting for the Saints all the way, although I don't think there's much of a chance there. Jaguars, Raiders, let's go with the Jaguars. Chiefs, Bills, I'm going to root for the Bills. Seahawks, Commanders, I'm going to root for the Seahawks. And then Cardinals, Cowboys, let's root for the Cowboys. So, all right, there's your real quick run through for the rooting guide. Both, what's more enticing, trade possibilities or a huge victory today? I'm going to go with the victory. Good question there. Big D, not late today, Duke Crew. Great morning, bros and sisters. Game day, exclamation point. Woo! Back at you, Big D. Lauren, what do you got? The best seats I had at Ford Field was Panthers game front row in front of the goal line. Exclamation point. Those would be some good seats. James, greetings and salutations. Dan, the Duke Crew, and back at you. Attila Hunt, the rumor about the Lions shopping for safety has me worried about Kirby. I thought Harper and Hallett could cover while KJ heals up. It could be, man, but, again, I know we've talked about it ad nauseum on the show. The PCL, that's going to need months to really just kind of recuperate, heal up. It's not something I think you can do in season unless you're just going to shut them down for basically another month. Wait and see what they do. I used to go to games, once or twice a year. Now, even standing room only tickets are $300. Shake my head. Yeah, it's not cheap, but some of that is supply and demand. Everybody and their mother wants to buy tickets to go to Ford Field to watch the Lions since we're good nowadays. And because of that, the prices have gone up and away. Mr. Nico, I haven't seen you in a hot second. Brad Holmes and the crew are working on getting us to a Super Bowl. I agree with that fully. There isn't a better deserving team to or do crew that. I'm down with that. Yes, let's go get to the Super Bowl. Johnny L. Bo, I say both. Southwest, let's make the best of the trade deadline and make a power move that puts us over the top. I like the way you think it. It can be a very good player. We don't need a Garrett. No, I think you're spot on. I think the Lions could add a couple guys, not break the bank, get to where you want to go, and yeah, still have your first and second round picks. Ms. Nagel, the Lions and Duke Crew deserve a Super Bowl win. I like the way you're thinking. Hookadoo, top of the morning, and grit builds by the hour. Johnny L, Lauren, Bo, and the rest of the grit-filled Lions fans. Woo! I concur fully. Big Eddie, I still think the offensive line is the place we need the most help. I'll take upgrades wherever we can get them, though. Yeah, 100%, man. Why wouldn't you? James, if a trade is imminent, my hunch is the Dave Montgomery may be on the chopping block. I have heard some rumors or thoughts about that in the last day or two. I don't know, man. I would have a hard time seeing MCDC send him out. Then again, it is a business, and if you feel like the next guy is just as good or you can get somebody else who's equivalent and you can improve the team somewhere else that's harder to improve, maybe they do. Tell the Hunt, I went to the Browns game and was going to the Christmas game in Minneapolis. This was a last minute. Hey, well, I'm glad you got it, man. Go have a great time with whoever you're going with. Johnny L. Sonic and Knuckles all day long. Oh yeah, I'll go with that with the exclamation points and the thumb up. Lauren, I love starting my mornings with the Duke Crew. You have to, right? I think we all enjoy being here. Amy Spray, what do you got? Good morning, Dan, the ultra infamous Duke Crew, exclamation point. Happy game day, all go Lions with an exclamation point or a few exclamation points. Oh, most of the talk about our game today has been how bad J.J. McCarthy going to get mauled. I think he's going to be under a lot of heat. And why wouldn't you? He's more or less a rookie quarterback playing against a very banged up Minnesota offensive line. If it was me, I know we talked about it with, who was it? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'd be sending all the receivers, pushing towards the sideline, letting them go deep shots down the field only. Why? It takes a little bit longer to set up. I'd be a little bit more physical with those receivers or tight ends or whoever. And McCarthy, you got to be more accurate while you know that pressure is coming up the middle. There's better opportunity for the Vikings to hit some big shots down the field, but I think you're going to get more and more huge shots on JJ, and you know what? I'd take that all day. Just greeting and salutations, Duke Crew. Dang, James Allen. What's got you thinking that? Question mark. Wouldn't we then have to a hole at running back? I think we would. If we were to move on from Dave Montgomery, we would have a bit of a hole at running back. Southwest, I can get more than one player, so I'm not worried. In Brad, we trust. Let's think positive and stay that way. Go Lions. I like the way you're thinking. I think we could add a couple players. Is it going to be like 4 or 5 guys? No, but 1 or 2? Absolutely. 100% Southwest. Johnny L, good morning. Amy, hookadoo. Victory, Bo, take the lead in the North. Let's make that happen. I like it. Let's take over first place. Tilla, wish it wasn't so cold this morning. Hey, yeah, winter is getting here. Lauren, we can pick up an offensive tackle on waivers, put them on the practice squad, and try to get them developing in case Decker's shoulder doesn't hold. We could do that. There's just got to be somebody you have enough faith acquiring, however you're going to add them, that they're going to upgrade the team. Drake, tell it, enjoy the game, exclamation point. I would think this one should be us all the way. Yeah, I think we're all pretty much anticipating that. If it ends up being a game, though, not many will have seen that coming. James, what a day, what a time to be a part of the Duke Crew. Woo! Exclamation point, and I agree with you fully. Attila, I hope so. Hookadoo. Jameers Allen, I hope you're wrong. Good grit morning. 100%. I'll go with that. Johnny L, Thunder and Lightning. Oh, yeah, with some exclamation points. Silver Server, good morning, coach, and everyone else. Always glad to see you, Silver Server. Southwest, Lions come out fresh, on firing on all targets. Big day for the offense. JMO will cook. Lions 40, Vikings 14. I agree with you. I think especially if the Lions control the game, you have it securely in place, we'll say halfway through the third quarter. That's where I think they'll probably try to almost force feed JMO some stuff, get him going, get other teams worried about him, get his confidence up, make him happy. Because, the guy works his butt off. And I get, like everybody, you want to be a little bit more part of things. You see your friends doing something, you want to, not be left in the dust. I think the Lions are going to try to get him intentionally involved today. Hookadoo, James. Yeah, I figured out we were going with that, Hooks. I got you. France, I was on about an hour ago, forgot about the time change, laughing out loud. How many others did the same thing? I know I did. Lauren, my boss might get me tickets against the Cowboys. Woo! Hey, that's a good boss right there. Let's see, Bo, we want Green Bay to lose. Of course, I agree with that. But if they keep winning, they stay half game up on us. Correct with that until Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, we can control our own fate. Johnny L, great morning to you, Hookadoo. I am back at you both. Bo, I've been up, France, but I knew it was early. It happens. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. I want to see another breakout performance by our defense. Love me some Shep, and what he's done with these guys is just so impressive. Yeah, 100%. What Shep's done with the defense, a lot of people, as we all know, start of the season, preseason, talking about, man, Lions can't win this year. You got a rookie offense coordinator, defense coordinator. Shep's definitely proved them all wrong. And I would say John Morton, even though maybe not to the same extent, he's also done a pretty good job. All right, Detroit D, good morning, Duke Crew. It's game day. Yes, it is. And good to see you, my friend. Let's see, Hookadoo, server, out surfing on a chilly Sunday morning. Great morning. Yeah, enjoy those cold waves. Southwest game day, I'm ready to roll. Go Lions. I think we're going to roll all over them, hopefully early and often. Bo, the Shep Flex defense is getting us over the Hillary step. Summit, here we come. Exclamation point. I like the way you're thinking. Let's go get the Super Bowl. Johnny O, does anyone here ever watch Peanut Hawk? I do not. I'm not even sure what it is. Server, James Allen, Monty not going anywhere but on the field for Detroit. I agree with that. He matters too much. Him gone just leaves you with a Gibbs. In fact, I think he needs to be used more. I know a lot of us have been talking about that Dave Montgomery needs to get a few more touches. James, I've been having a gut feeling. It's nothing personal here. Remember, first and foremost, the Lions are a business, and when they do trades, it's a business decision. I agree with that fully. Tell the Hun, want the Legion of Whom to dominate. I'm a big Whiteside fan. I think a lot of us are. He was dang impressive in training camp, preseason. And you know what? Against the Bucs, he furthered that view of his ability to play. Steve Rogers, I hope we make some teams an offer they can't refuse. Hey, I see what you did there. Hookadoo, I agree. Silver Server, we need money. Exclamation point. Silver Server, Hookadoo, great morning, Mr. H. James Aaron, I agree with you, Silver Server. Johnny O, Silver, I totally agree with that. The Trim Reaper, good morning, Dan, the world fame renowned Duke Crew. Let's go Lions. Woo! And back at you, Trim. Shamir, who needs tickets to today's game? We'll find out. Let me know let her Shamir know in the comment section. JDC, Dre Force rocks and he rolls. Hookadoo. Hey, you figured out my last name, Silver Server. It happens. Johnny L. Oh yeah, Attila with the thumbs up. Pierce, morning all. Some help on the lines would be nice. I think we'd all like some help on the lines. Till then, if Montgomery goes, it won't be the team that is sending us the player we need, and I don't see us sending Montgomery to a Super Bowl favorite, so I have a feeling Monty is here. Doesn't make sense. All right, we'll go with that. Hey, more. Here's what I've been thinking. Green Bay wants to be the spoiler, exclamation point, rather than taking the North, which they will not, or meet up with us in the playoffs to inflict as much damage to us. It could be, yeah. It could be we're on a collision course with them in the playoffs. We'll have to wait and see what shakes out. Silver, Hookadoo, Chuck, greetings, salutations, Coach Dan, and the Duke Crew, exclamation point, game day. Woo! It is game day, and yes, I'm ready to watch them. James, I believe the Lions have 3 running backs plus 1 more on the practice squad. They do indeed. Johnny L. Henry, no way that Green Bay beats us. No way. Exclamation point. I hope you are right with that. James, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Yes, hit all the buttons if you would be so kind. And thank you, James. JDC, Lambeau Field, home of the Lamers. They are kind of lame. Pat Rock, what's the chances we really pull off some trades? I'd say 70%. Again, it comes down to getting them at the right price. Brad's not overpaying for anything. Johnny O, watch out, MV, here we come, baby. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Silver. They got 6 defensive ends, Ahmed included, and I think they like where they are at. Only fragility I see right now is left tackle, very uncertain, but who is going to get rid of a potential starter at that position now? We'll find out. Probably not many teams. You tell them, JDC, James, the Lions will do something by the trade deadline, that's for sure. I agree with you. Brad is typically pretty active. It's just not for the big name stuff that we always, hear about. Dylan, I was surprised to hear that they expected Josh Pascal back. I had given up hope in seeing him again in the Lions uniform. I hope he does, man, because it's hard to root against that guy. That guy is just a class act through and through. You know why they draft him, why they've been patient with him, because Josh Pascal is that dude. Say Torrey Apple, I still think DC or Dan Campbell just remains with the players we have in-house. Feels like that's his way. I agree with that. He's very, very loyal to people that he's already been working with. Version of the mean. Good morning, Coach and Duke crew. A beautiful day to head down to Ford Field. We'll enjoy the game, my friend. Miles Meyer slept in, exclamation point. Now it's game day. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Back at you. So long should be a fun game for you to call, Coach. I would agree with that. We are going to roll over the Vikings. I think we will. Who's that in the thumbnail? We got a whole lot of people in the thumbnail, Johnny, so you have to dive through them all. Miles Meyer, grit and grinded. Hookadoo, we'll find out. Hookadoo. Miles Meyer, I can feel your grit in the way to Toledo. Oh, yeah. I'm down with that. Silver. I think a lot of us Lions fans are looking at past this game as if it's already won. That would be a big mistake. Lions won 6 in a row or something like that against Vikes. Continue. Well, we can look past them as fans, but as long as the coaches and team doesn't, then we're okay. Bo, Miles Meyer, we're all grinding today. I'm down with that. Cynthia, good morning, all. Exclamation point. Let's play some Lions football. Woo! I'm down with that as always, Cynthia. Miles Marker is laughing at Bo Booth. Trim Reaper, Timmy. We have not seen Timmy in some time now. Bo Booth, yeah, sir, but MCDC isn't. Correct with that. We can look past them as long as the coaching staff and players do not. Johnny L., we'll be feasting on some shrimp and lots of beer. Enjoy that. Sounds like a great day. 9 drinks. Happy game day, Duke crew. It's always good to have you around there, 9 drinks. Silver Surfer, if you give up just a tad of intensity in the NFL and the last team can embarrass the Super Bowl champs, don't forget Tyson and Buster Douglas. Correct. But again, doesn't just because we do it doesn't mean the players do it. Version of the main, Johnny L., Joel Bitcoin from the offensive tackle from Cleveland, and one of them in the thumbnail looks like, yes, he was one of them for sure. Virgil Rose, the bye week is over, thankfully. Now we need some teams to drop games. We'll see if they can do that. Leonard, good morning, Duke. Let's get that dub in D-Town and no injuries. I like the way you are thinking. Good morning, Leonard. Bo, I made a bundle on that fight, Surfer. Hey, that probably would have been. I want to say it was like the biggest underdog upset ever in boxing, at least at that time. I don't know since. 5 Fingers Freddy, we need to keep winning and keep pressure on the Packers. I won't be sad if we have add more to our defense. Time for Love and Green Bay to get owned in a few weeks. Hey, we're counting down to Thanksgiving. That will be the biggest Thanksgiving Day game, I think, ever. I could be wrong on that, but at least in my belief. Miles Meyer, I'm looking to see Amon-Ra have a great game. Lots of folks pointing out his control over Vikings. He's had some real good games against the Vikings. Robert, woo! Let's go, Lions! Exclamation point. We shall dissect the Vikings like a Thanksgiving turkey. Greetings, Duke crew and Dan, and back at you, Robert. Hopefully having a good start to your morning. Sir. They say the Vikings offensive line is beat up, but they said that when the Lions played the Bucs. They said Detroit got no secondary against the potential MVP Mayfield, who at that point had 12 touchdowns and only 1 INT. Well, we added 1 more INT to that total for him. Anymore, no one wants to play us in our house. Absolutely no one. Exclamation point. I concur. Johnny L., please, God, no injuries today, please. Let's make that happen. Miles Mark, grip morning. Leonard, Trim River. On my way, Johnny L. Robert, where is Jason? I hope he knows where the Tree of Destiny is. I'm guessing he's got eyes on it. Southwest, let's flipping go, Lions. I like it indeed. Gun guy, haven't seen it in a minute, and take your pants off. There you go. Jennifer, morning, good morning, and good morning to you. Same old soup, just reheated. Good morning, Coach Dan of the Duke crew. Back at you. Johnny L., I predict a win. I like the way you are thinking. Bo, those were some good costumes, Coach. Dodgeball forever. Man, yeah, when we saw those at the shop yesterday, the Spirit Shop, the one I got, for the purple Cobras, that was at double X large. I was like, man, we have to do some work to fit in this, but made it happen. Famous RW, back in the D to watch the game today at Ford Field. Let's go, Lions. Woo! Enjoyed the game, my friend. Dolo Dynamite, let's go. Hey, good to see you this morning. Coach Rock, good morning. Dooku seems like Brad always trying to make a trade. He has to make a big move soon because the other contenders will make him move. Heck, maybe that's what he'll do. Trim Reaper, if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. There you go. Yes, I love that movie, man. Hookadoo. It made me laugh also. Bo and Kane on my way to Lions Vikings game, my first ever NFL game, a veteran, and I get to be a part of the flag ceremony as a veteran, loving life. Hey, go enjoy it 100%, man. And congrats for all that you're getting today. And thank you from the bottom of the Duke Crew's heart for all you've done for the country. All right, Riley, good morning, all. Exclamation point, it's game day, 1,000%. Bo, Kane, our honor guard, exclamation point. Oh, yeah, I'll take that. Great Lakes State guy. Good morning, coach, exclamation point. If that list, whoever he in the most injured is who Brad is offering on, that could be accurate. Brad will say, hey, who's got the most injured history? We can save some money there, maybe some draft capital and trading. Yeah, we'll see what he does. William, heard we offered a second rounder for Hendrickson. I don't know how true that is. That I don't know, William. I know there's been a lot of reports growing in the last week that insiders, whatever you want to say, or beat reporters for both teams are confirming the Lions have had conversations. It's just, what is it coming down to? Is it just, hey, is he still for sale? What do you want for him? Or is it more to that? Well, if you want this, we'll give you that. Is it getting to the point where they're legitimately breaking down conversations about a trade? We'll wait and see. Tell you good morning, Riley. Trade, man, talk about somebody I haven't seen in a hot second. Rise and shine, Duke Crew. Get a deal done, and of course, win the game today. Now, that's some wise words of thinking right there. Hey, more congratulations, Kane Goodson. Woo! I'm down with that, with that exclamation point. Michael, trade candidates laughing out loud. Okay, I'm down with that. Marcus, trade. You're going to hear about it a lot in the next 48 hours, so we all get it, man. Our version of the main Eagles traded Ravens for Jared Alexander already. Yes, they did. Broski, that's awesome. Kane, yes, it is, man. Congratulations. That's a heck of a thing for you. Tell a second for a Super Bowl is worth every time. Yeah, if we know that we can get the Super Bowl by trading the second, I think if you add Hendrickson, man, that defense you have to think's got a pretty good chance to help push us there. I agree with you, Attila. I'd make it happen. Great Lakes, it's going to be who's just saying. I'm down with that. Sellers Brad is dang cheap. You're not wrong there. To win a trade war, he doesn't give up anything. Yeah, he does not overpay for anything. I think we all agree on that. David, love Dan, question mark, hit like, exclamation point, go Lions. Hey, thanks for that, David. Thank you very much. Good morning, Rock. Ain't that the truth? It is. Honor thy veterans. Yes, indeed, Johnny. I'll honor the veterans. David, Lions did not get sweated and did not get Chase Young. And the teams that didn't really do anything better because of those players. No, when the Bears got it, if I remember right, and I'm going off memory here a couple years, so don't hold me to it, there were some reports that the Bears did it intentionally, giving up the second rounder to keep him away from the Lions, to kind of basically throw shade at the Lions by doing it. Because to be honest, with the Bears at that point, they weren't contenders to make the playoffs. Obviously, they haven't made the playoffs. So why acquire a veteran of that age? And at this point in his career, is he really doing a ton for them? I would say no, but you know what? They didn't ask me. Coach Roy, great morning, Hookadoo, Johnny L, Miles Margaret, Mary, when she gets here. We'll see Mary when she gets here. Great Lake State guy, let's see, it's going to be who is going to give up the first-round pick versus the second-round pick. Will the Packers do it or us? We'll find out. That is a good question. Dan, good morning, Duke Crew. This is an important week for the Lions. I agree with you fully with an exclamation point. Silver Server, Bo Booth, wow, exclamation point. You were probably the only one that had the courage to bet money on Buster. Yeah, good bet, though, wasn't it? Silver Sir, Miles Meyer, laughing out loud. Michael, Dan, I believe offensive line makes sense for us. I agree with you there. Marcus, remember when Mike Valetti wanted the Lions to draft Tua? He did, man. He did indeed, and I'm glad we did not. No disrespect to Tua, but I'm glad we didn't. Hookadoo, Kane, how freaking sweet. I'll take that. Great Lake State guy, Michigan. We can't go another 9 games with our offensive line like this. No, and a lot of that comes down to, I think, to your point, Great Lakes, is how much does Lions coaching staff believe Taylor Decker has healed on up. Tilla, like I said, expect nothing, so anything would be welcome. They just have an incredible chance if they make a move. I concur. Michael, didn't we pick up half a dozen players already? We did. Off of a practice squad and waiver wires, etc. Bo Silver, I had inside information, and at 40-1, I couldn't pass it up. Well, good for you, man. That was good information to have. Johnny L. Kane, that's awesome. Great Lakes. Mark Andrew is hurt constantly, so that makes sense. It could be, but I just don't see the Lions acquiring him. But as far as Andrews, but maybe I'm wrong. Lions do or die. Greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew. I am thankful to all of our veterans. I signed on the line and did the time. To Navy Pride, go Lions. Hey, thank you for all you did for us, my friend. Silver Bo Booth smiling and thumbs up. Big D Bento played for Wisconsin. He's a beast. He is, man, and he's been doing it. Let's face it, a long time. The NFL level. Solus Brad won't give a real rednecko for a star player. That is accurate. Tillahan, yeah, Hutchinson didn't get a dime. He did not, but it's different when we draft him. The Lions seem to clearly want to take care of their own. Let's see, Coach Rock. Trade some draft capital. This team is set and don't need rookies the next couple of years. Makes a big splash already. I agree with you. I think, and I've talked about it before, maybe not recently. If it was me, and, I get it's not me, I would trade the first round pick. I would trade the second round pick. But what I would do is I'd say, hey, and I'm just going to throw a name out there. This is just an example. If we went for Trey Hendrickson, all right, I'll give you this year's first and next year's first. What I want in return is the player, and I want your seconds, fifths, and sevenths. You can have our first. We're going to end up with more draft capital and at lesser costs. That's what I would do. Okay, there's something about Mary. Where is the Queen of Grit? We'll find out. Maybe she's out. Maybe one of her grandchildren had a game today or something like that. Let's see. 89 Dr. Funk. Honestly, I don't believe any trade's going to go down just because the price is too high. Could be. Yeah. But maybe that's why they got to get something cheaper. We'll have to wait and see. Johnny L., I was a big operations specialist. There you go. Oh, and thank you for that. Sergeant Hale, we got good morning, Dan, and the one and only Duke crew, exclamation point, woo, and good to see you, Sarge. Anymore, I celebrate all my brothers in arms, exclamation point, we are the 1%. You are not wrong with that. Great Lakes, Cam Jordan off the Saints is who I would like to see for defense. He makes a lot of sense to me, but will you get him? We'll have to wait and see. Johnny L., I was also there during the big gun move being filmed. Hey, the big Top Gun movie. Excuse me, can't talk this morning. And thank you for that, Johnny. You probably had a good time with that. Coach Rock, Hookadoo, did this time change get married? I think it is possible. Marcus, I want Phillips more, but my wish is Trey Hendrickson. I think a lot of people, man, would probably be jumping up and down if we got Trey Hendrickson. And yeah, we'd probably have to do a 3-hour breakdown video on it. Bo, Mary is usually at church on Sunday morning, Rock. Hey, well, there you go. There's the answer to the question. Anymore? Gosh, exclamation point. Johnny L., I am jealous. I love the movie. Yeah, the movie was good. Classical, I guess you could say. Tell them whatever they do, I trust Brad and Dan. They won't get someone who doesn't fit or can contribute or would hurt them in the future. Correct with that. Coach Rock, Phillips or Rams would make a big deal. Could be. Trim Reaper. So you're saying there's a chance. There's always a chance, whether or not it's a big chance or not. Sergeant Hale, Whiteside at corner, TA rest and practice with his hands tied behind him. We'll see if they do that. I'd say Thomas Kane, outstanding, exclamation point. Bless you for your service. Lions 31, Vikings 20. All right, I'm hoping it's not even that close. Robert, good luck, Kane. They concur. Hookadoo. That's what I'm thinking, Rock. Attila, how's the injury? How injured is Trey? I don't think he's really got much of an injury history. I mean, he's been hurt before, but not like a massive injury history like somebody who won't be named that I know Pierce will probably point out. Marcus, where does Daniel Damas predict or we will acquire? You know what? That'll probably be a pretty good episode. I'll have to think about that, Marcus. I'll see if I can reach out to the Danold one. Let's see, JK time. Today is my nephew's baptism and after party. Booze GA. Hey, go enjoy it. That'll be a fun time for you. Great Lakes, we have a great offensive line, but anyone behind the starters except Skipper block out as well as a wet paper towel. How about that? We need offensive line. We'll see if they can go get them. JK call me Ook, laughing out loud. Broski. JK, is it safe to say you'll be caroused by kickoff? We'll find out. Yeah, you probably have a beverage or two. JK, DDI, it's possible. Thomas, those of I who constantly say or insinuate 30 is old in the NFL, you're for getting someone over 30 for the playoff run. Really? I think I'd be okay with it because you're probably using that person on less of a pitch count or snap count. You're asking them to just do specific things. We'll see if that's what they do, though, Thomas. J.K. Broski, you're right for once. All right. Rondo of North Carolina. Backup left tackle is the only move that makes sense to me. I agree with you there. Jenny L. Henry, if you remember the AIC Air Interceptor Controller, where he said that's your bogey, well, that was my position. Hey, thank you for all you did. Lions win 43-3. I'll take that, Sergeant Hale. Thomas, if we trade Knuckles, you would destroy the locker room. That would be a horrific move. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Dolo, Lions should grab Evan Neal from the Giants. Let's see if they can. JK, Reed, MCDC. The Trim Reaper, I still want Cam Jordan. I think a lot of people do. Moonscar Blade, good morning all. Back at you. Right. Something going on with the mic. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Anyways, Moonscar, when we play the Average Joes in the bowling league, I'm going to probably dress up like the Cobra Kai, or not Cobra Kai, but the Purple Cobras from Global Gym. Marcus, you get it? Exclamation point. Rock, why get a backup left tackle, get a starter, and let Decker be the backup? The problem is, who are you going to get? Most people will not give up their left tackles, so you would really have to pay to get a starting level left tackle, in my opinion at least. We'll see what shakes. MR, yep, I remember. Have to watch that movie at least once a month. And Maverick also, good movies. Joseph, I agree, or bring on a left tackle. We'll see if they do. Hookadoo. That's so freaking sweet. Johnny L, a position of grit, exclamation point. Mr. Morale, 313, if Brad Holmes, the depot, is going to trade, is going to be a bargain player. We all know Brad doesn't make splash moves. I'll go with that. Marcus, I'll give up a second for Trey and a fourth. I'm down with that. Sergeant Albroski, Bears have improved. They have. Thomas, we are not going to blow big draft picks on a rental. The biggest real concern is left tackle. Other than that, we don't need anyone. I agree with you there. Big D, Rock M, 100%. Inspired hope, changed lives. Thomas, facts. Exclamation point with those facts, by the way. JK, Brad is the pilot. He'll make all the right decisions. Hopefully, he'll make all the right moves if you get that movie reference. All right, guys, we got just a couple minutes left, so I'm going to power through, get people who haven't been on as much. Let's see. Starting with James, you can ship both Marcus Davenport in a second rounder Cleveland for Myles Garrett. We'll see what we do. Tilla, Morale, Brad hasn't had to make a splash move yet. They haven't been in this position. 2 years ago, no secondary. Last year, no Hudson, and then lost the Liam after the deadline. Correct with that. I need 20 minutes. We'll get you there. Until you don't make a move until you need to. There you go. Trim River. Willis makes sense in your opinion. I'll go after Willis. Something about Willis. Reversion to the mean. Would like to see an offensive tackle added in case and other than that seems like we have our team. I agree with that. I think we've got a pretty good team. JDC, Puff, woo, Coffee, and Lions Talk Live. Great way to start your morning. Joseph, a joint and coffee breakfast of champions. Hey, go enjoy that breakfast of champions. Motown, what's up for Coach? Happy game day. Well, I can't wait for the game, man. I'm guessing most of us are chomping at the bit to see us back on the field. And I would love to see a shutout. Let's see if we can make it happen. Roski, Woolen from the Seahawks would be another trade target for Lions. It would be a good fit. Chad Wright, good morning, Coach Dan and the Awesome Duke crew. Woo! If we don't address our offensive line, I'm worried we need a good left tackle. I think that seems to be the consensus, Chad. I think a lot of people think we need a good left tackle. Dre Day, ready for the Lions to win this trap game. Off a bye week, there will be enough rust to make this game close. I don't think so, man. I just think we're too razor focused. I think we're going to come out and have a good game. Been wrong before, though. Maleficent Fisher, I love that Brad Holmes is financially responsible. He's been very smart with transactions and the reason we have and can retain what we have. You're not wrong there. So many teams carry a ton of dead cap money. Brad Holmes and the Lions don't so much, and they Scooby-Doo ways to re-sign their own. Coach Rock, the Rams pulled the trigger and won a Super Bowl and plus gave up 2 first-round picks, and they're still knocking the door. To your point, give a lot of credit to the Rams scouting departments. They've hit on a lot of late-round picks or undrafted players to help fill out those rosters, make up for some of that lost draft capital. A good call, Broski. Woolen, says Courtney. Anymore, I would love to see a shutout on Thanksgiving. Epic. Now, wouldn't that be something? Trom Reaper, a birthday/Thanksgiving win over Green Bay is good enough for me. Man, I think a lot of us would take that. Melissa and Fisher, headed to Ford Field in a couple hours. Can't wait. Exclamation point. Go Lions. Go have a great time at the game, my friend. Great Lakes. Any normal injuries today? Guys still out. Hopefully Reels is back soon. Hopefully Reels is back. All right. We know Kirby Joseph is out. Other than that, probably guys you would have anticipated to be out. Tom, a great birthday present for today would be an Alliance winning by 40 points. Let's get us winning by 40 points for you there, Tom. Black Jared Jones, grit, baby grit. You gotta love the grit. Tom, go Lions. Woo! Tom, Byron, what do you got? I'm hearing something about the Lions looking to add Trevor Penning to add to the offensive line. Let's see if we can. I would not have any complaints with us adding to the offensive line whatsoever. James, Thomas Donner, Brad knows how to work that salary cap well. He does a real good job with it, doesn't he? Lions, good morning, Coach Dan, the Duke crew. Game day is here, and I'm looking for a beat down to the Vikings. I think we're all looking for that. Jameer, 2 tickets for 400 for both. Hey, that's not a bad deal, especially with today's stuff. Let's see, Phil. Greetings and salutations. Back at you, Phil. Looks like you're on fire, maybe. Let's see, Tremor. Lions 41, Minnesota 17. Woo! With an exclamation point. Motown Mitch. Shout out, Broski Bear. Didn't think the Lions will be looking for any cornerbacks after the backups showed what they've got against the Bucs. They did a great job against the Bucs, didn't they? Famous RW, greetings and salutations, coach and crew. Same to you, Chad. Happy birthday, Tom. Woo! With an 8. Pat, I don't think we get any big name players. We really don't need much. No, maybe just some more depth. Rondo Smalls, I sent an email to Sheila that when Lions win the Super Bowl, that the rings should be a key fob to a limited edition Ford vehicle. Bronco? Yeah, let's see if they do just that. Phil, on the sprained ankle, JJ's mobility will be limited. Yeah, especially with the high ankle sprain. His offensive line is poor. The Vikings don't scheme right. It's a wipeout. I think you're right with all the above, my friend. Looking for more than been on here as much. Riley O'Brien, Coach Dan Nduku. These are the days we love. Game day, be loud. Are these those of you going to the Ford Field? Yeah, if you're at Ford Field, represent and be loud for the new crew, and maybe just for the Lions. JK, let's flip and go. I like the way you're thinking. Great Lakes. The Packers are overrated. They've had to weasel several of their wins. Yeah, I wish they could have lost a few more of those, but they didn't. Let's see, Henry Moore. Hey, Broski. Phil, by the end of the game, Lions will be asking fans to play. No surprise to see us in the 40s. All right. Let's see, looking for more who haven't been on here as much. Hookadoo. What's good? What's the good word, Broski? We'll find out. Coach Tiny K. Hey, Coach Ducru. Let's go Lions. 100%. Good to see you as always. Miles Barrett, happy birthday, Coach. Not my birthday yet. Not my birthday yet. Henry Moore, hey, Coach T. JK says Riley O'Brien with an exclamation point. Broski Bear, hey, Miles Margaret, good morning. Looking for some more. Phil, and good morning, Broski Bear. Good to see you. Trim Reaper, I like Stone to Broski Bear. All right. Let's see, JC Gully, good morning, Coach and crew, exclamation point. Looking forward to Meek playing well today to solidify a new contract at the end of the year. I'd be okay with us re-signing 1,000,000%. Server, they're going to keep it simple for JJ. Sometimes if you do simple things right, that's all you need. Coaches had to work this week to keep team focused on apparently not so good team. We'll find out what does shake out in time here. Jay, Great Lakes, Sailors is good. We don't need another running back. That could be accurate. So the Riley Server, good take. Thomas, I'd love to see Tesla double his receptions with 3 today. And the $25 million decoy Jameson with 3+1 jet sweep. All right, we'll see if they get him more involved. All balls, no D. Good morning, Duke Crew. Go Lions. Hey, good to see you, my friend. It has been a hot second. You're getting ready to leave for the game. Go have a great time of the game. Southwest, we are fans. Of course, we say the team will win. Our coaches will and players know to play hard and grit. No quit. Go Lions. 100%. Be strong. Thomas, that's Rock. Hey, nothing wrong with Rock. Looking for more that haven't been on here. Ziggy and friends, good morning. Captain Dan and the Duke Crew All-Stars, back at you. All balls, thank you guys. Anytime. Thomas, SS, you and I have to dump $1,000 to take our family to one game. Disgraceful. Every stadium, in my opinion, could have at least 2,500 seats that are $100. We'll find out if they do that. Bo, have a great time at the game. Anthony, 100% there. I spent $4,600 on season tickets. Hey, well, hopefully you're getting the most out of them, my friend. Looking for others that haven't been on here. Welcome back, Branch, 100%. Elaine Hill, they're 100%. Good to see you in the chat, as always. Let's see, Great Lakes. Yeah, they did it to prevent the Lions from winning it all. They gave up a first who. All right, we'll find out. Trim Reaper. Hope Brian Branch being baptized slapped all the demons out of him. Hey, maybe they did just that. Balls. Thanks, Bo. Josh, trade for Aaron Key to Detroit after the game. I wonder if they'll do it, man. If they can do it at halftime and get him on the field, speed up the process a little bit here. Riley O'Brien, the Trim Reaper, laughing. Bo, I would say pricing for seats is a balancing game. Can't price everyone out, but you can't subsidize them either. Yeah, and it is a business. Let's not make any mistakes about it. Famous RW, seems like our offense and defense will start clicking at the same time, and that's scary for the rest of the league. I think you're right with that. Trim Reaper laughing. All balls, we need draft picks. Always. Pat, balls, I agreed. Miles, hi, Anthony, good points. All balls, no Ds. Coach Rock, we all know it's a one-year rental, but it would bring us a Super Bowl, then it's worth it. I'll go with that, man. Josh, trade for Draymond Jones to Detroit after the game. We'll see what they do. James there. Michael, make a big move to make us a Super Bowl winner finally. Exclamation point. I concur. Jess, I'm happy for Branch. No matter what else happens from here on out, he is blessed. May God bless him and that he knows the Lord will walk with him wherever the future holds. I agree with that 100%. Well said, well said. Same old soup. I just spent most of my summers as a kid on the bass in the 80s and 90s. All right, on that bass. How about that? Rondo, 63 H10, 63 W10 track of heavy wheel mechanical sports, 2/8 infantry. Okay. Jess, Brad called my grandma. Doesn't mean anything. Calling is just doing due diligence. It is a job. Yeah, that's part of the job, without question there, my friend. Ted, I don't see them doing any big buy, giving up first-round picks with the need of offensive line coming up fast. I'll go with that. Yeah, I think it would be lesser moves more than likely. JDC, Detroit Lions rebuilding since 1957. Stay tuned to Coach Dan and Lions Talk Live for more updates. Go Lions! Exclamation point. Thank you for that. Henry Moore, thanks, Rondo. I've operated an M113. Miles Marker, one pride worldwide. You gotta love the pride. All balls. But believe me, other teams will offer more for Hendrickson than Detroit will. Yeah, I agree with that. Probably 100%. Our Great Lakes, Decker and Reed will probably be on new teams next year, though Taylor would probably retire first. I would agree with that. I think he wants to remain or retire a Lion. That's probably the best way to work. JDC, happy trails, go Lions victory. Jess, Sweat, Henderson, Crosby, Parsons, Garrett, see a pattern, Mosley, Iffy, Davenport, not the pattern here, 100%. All balls, Decker's going to retire Lion. I concur. Bo, happy trails, new crew. See you game time. We'll see you then. Hoogadoo. See you later, Miles Meyer. Victory Sunday. Pierce, whoever said skip Devin Glass and a second to the Bengals or Browns, I'm down. We'll see if they do that. Michael, who? We'll find out who's in defense. Henry Moore, have a glorious day and a great Lions victory. Exclamation point. Woo! I concur. Famous RW, why not us? Hey, we'll go make it us. Get left tackle Evan Neal from Giants. Let's find out if we can. I'd be not upset about that. Pierce, Dolo, I wouldn't mind Neal. Broski, hey, Henry Moore, good morning. Exclamation point. Ziggy and friends, I'll be at the game today. Captain Dan making loud and proud. Hey, be loud and proud and hey, just support the team. So, Pierce, just get the glass out of here. We'll find out. Moonscar Blade, Broski Bear, Benedict at left tackle. How is he looking? We'll find out. Hookadoo, I like the way you're thinking, Pierce. Ziggy and friends, I predict the score will be 40-10 Lions. Bermude Blade, as much as I'd like to see a blowout today, the NFL, it's a divisional rival, and they're relatively healthy. I'll concur. I'll thumbs up. Ziggy and friends, James going to have a big game today. Yeah, I think J-Powell will. David, use J-Mo as a trade chip. I don't think he's going anywhere. I've been wrong, though, before. Great Lakes, no $100 seats if you're paying $180 million to Hutchinson. That's part of it. You know, if you got all these guys making money, you need to make it somewhere to help pay for those guys. Pierce, Great Lakes, and I don't forget the other $700 million to the other 8 guys. This is correct. They're spending like $1 billion on a few players. Ted, one pride. Let's go Lions. I like it indeed. Lauren, happy trails, everyone. See you on Victory Monday. Exclamation, go Lions. Woo! Pierce, Great Lakes, did you mean Reed or Reader? We'll find out. We'll find out indeed. Reader. Hey, there you go. You got your answer. Pierce, Reader is for sure gone after drafting Tyree. Probably accurate. Mootscar Blade, FYI, the salary cap is all based on 50% of the revenue shared from TV contracts divided by 32 teams. That money doesn't come from ticket sales. All right, we'll go with that. Mark Lewis, 93 strong, one pride. I concur with that. And finally, Riley O'Brien, Lauren, Detroit Lions. I'm down with that. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as soon as possible. If you would be so kind before departing, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. I won't be able to get on air like an hour and a half before kickoff. I've got some coaching duty of my own today, but I'll be on maybe like 30 minutes, 15 minutes before kickoff. So see you then. Have a great day. Do something kind for somebody you don't know. Be a good human being, and we'll see you all on the next Lions Talk Live. Take care, everybody. You're still here? What are you doing here? It's over. The show's over. Go home.